He swallowed hard. Des waham hai yar, he muttered to himself. Maybe it was the way the ground settled. Maybe the soil was shifting. But in his gut, he knew something was wrong. The next morning, when the gravedigger, Baba Karim, arrived, Rizwan hesitated before telling him. The old man had worked here for decades. His face weathered like the very stones around them. Baba ye kabar. Rizwan trailed off, pointing. Karim's sunken eyes followed the direction of his finger. He was silent for a long moment. Then he exhaled through his nose. Farasi, he murmured. Rizwan's stomach dropped. Farasi. Karim turned to him, his voice low, almost a whisper. Ye kabar hamesha rat ko hilti hai. The words felt heavy in the air. Rizwan looked at him, expecting some kind of explanation, but Karim just shook his head and walked away. That night, Rizwan couldn't sleep. The idea gnawed at him, an itch he couldn't scratch. He had to know. Armed with his phone and a thermos of chai, he returned to the graveyard just before midnight. The air was thick, pressing against his skin like an unseen force. He set up his phone on a tripod, aimed directly at the grave, and sat on a bench a few feet away. Hours passed. The wind howled. The distant calls of stray dogs echoed. His eyes grew heavy, but just as he was about to drift off, a sound jolted him awake. A low, grinding noise, like something heavy dragging against the earth. His breath caught in his throat as he turned to look. The grave was moving, not violently, not suddenly, just a slow, almost deliberate shift, as if something beneath was pushing, pulling, trying to escape. A scream clawed at his throat, but fear had turned his body to stone. His phone. He fumbled for it, the screen glowing in the darkness, but the moment he looked at the recording, the grave was exactly where it had always been. Rizwan's heart pounded. He turned back to the grave. It had definitely moved. He was sure of it, but the recording showed nothing. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, he confronted Karim again. Baba, ye kabar ka masla kia hai. Karim didn't meet his eyes. He continued shoveling dirt as if he hadn't heard. Baba muibateo. Rizwan's voice cracked. Karim finally stopped, sighing. Beta, ye kabar, koi nahi janta ism kaun dafin hai. Rizwan frowned. Koi bi nahi? Karim nodded. Pura jain janta hai iski bear main. Salen peli, ek admi yahan dafin kia gaya the. Par nam, asal koi nahi janta. Koi aya the dafin karn. Par wapas kabi nahi aya. Rizwan shuddered. Or ye har rat hilti hai. Karim's face darkened. Jobi yahan zayada derukta hai. Wobi chail jada hai. A shiver ran down Rizwan's spine. Chail jada hai? Karim picked up his shovel. Gum ho jada hai. That night, Rizwan did something he knew he shouldn't. He stayed. This time, he didn't just record. He sat next to the grave, whispering. Tum kaun ho? Kia chat ho. The wind picked up,